Hello, today we will discuss about the payload. Payload, you will say ki what is the payload? Payload is nothing. We are sending the data. That is, we are discussing in the we are sending data along with the request. That is payload, right? Nothing else. So, what is the payload? So there are so many payloads. We use payload using the string, payload using HashMap, payload using JSONObject, payload using POJO. There are so many ways. So we will discuss. Our basic thing about the one by one, then we will jump into the practical part. Okay, so that you will relate better way. We will discuss, we will show you in the framework level as well. Okay, so first start with the, I will give me a moment. You will see, might be this is your question. Payload. Payload equal to data sent to server. In request body, right? Mostly in JSON format. In the RestAssured, basically we will focus on the JSON format, or RestAssured support the JSON used in the post mode HMath. Okay, so you understand payload? So I will show you JSON. Already we have discussed in the JSON, so I'm assuming you are aware. Like name, X, Y, Z, and then next column will be there. Then we will use comma, then job ID, and this data will be very sensitive. Whatever the column is there, then according to the same we will write down the data column name, key, and value. Okay, come to the come to the first payload using string. Okay, yes, you manually write JSON as a string format. How? First one, I will write it down. First one is the payload. You can make a note of this topic. This is a very important topic. That's why I'm telling you to make a note. It will be easy to whenever you are going through or creating the framework. JSON. Okay. What is this? You manually write a JSON as a string. That is called the payload using a string. How? I will show you like a string payload. JSON will be like forward slash plus comma forward slash name and forward slash name, like that string you will use in your code, comma, like that, so on. Okay, this is the string you will use in payload. Okay, this is the string payload, and you will say is for small payloads, like very small kind of the data. If you are creating any, or you are performing API demo or to client, or to demo to a new resource in the project, so it is the for that easy for the small payload, quick to write extra classes. Payload using JSON. Second point, second point is payload using HashMap. Guys, please keep write a note, because when I will jump into practical part, you will you have need to relate better way. That's why I'm covering the this thing first. Then we will jump into framework. HashMap, HashMap store the key value pair in the HashMap. Rest assured convert to JSON. That key value convert to JSON with the to JSON. The key value we are storing the data, and when we are sending the request along with the payload, while the processing, it will automatically, or rest assured automatically change that HashMap into JSON. How? We will write it down the HashMap object, HashMap string. This is the object. I'm just writing very simple way, and data. Okay, this is the object we have created. Let's suppose. Okay, then what? All the data we have created, like that. Put name and XYZ. The same like that. How? And this is the data, and we will pass this data into body. That's it. The simple way. Pros, what is the pros? You will say, ma'am, what is the pros? Pros is the cleaner than string. No JSON formatting is true. Good for simple payloads. Cons, no ideal for the nested session. Become messy for the complex structure. It is good for the simple structure. Let's suppose if we create any object, or there is the ID, XYZ, and name. It can be simple kind of the data. It is good go with the HashMap. Come to the payload using JSON object. So yeah. Third is the payload using JSON. JSON object. Okay. Using JSON object from the ORG libraries. What it will be happen? There we have need to add the library in the POM.xml file. Once you add the dependency in the POM.xml file, you will create the object in the JSON object, and you can add the whole data in the object, and you can call that object body in the body, and you can send a request. That is a very simple way. Suppose better for the nested structured approach easy to modify. Cons extra dependency required slightly complex. There is no complex, I will tell you. So there is the one dependency you have need to add in your POM.xml file. This is the object JSON object data equal to new JSON object. Once you added in your framework class, then you will see the new overall on this keyword, then automatically file will be import. Only they will give the suggestion import the file, then put need to store the data name xyz. Like that you can add the number of the data. Okay, come to the payload using POJO. POJO is the best practice for the industry perspective. Create a Java class with the variable and getter and setter method. Um, I will show you getter or setter method. Create the variable in the separate class. All the things I will show you. What is the pros? Pros is most professional approach, easy maintenance, best for framework designing, reusable. What's the initial setup is required in the POJO? What is the initial setup? We have need to create the POJO class, and then we have need to create a separate POJO class, payload class using POJO. Then we can call in the test class. This is the setup required. Come to the fiber payload from the external. External like you are fetching data and from the from the JSON file which you are creating in your framework. So once let's suppose you create your JSON file in the Java test resource file. There you make one folder. Folder is the test data.json, and you create one JSON. Nothing, just simple keyword uh, column according to your server job name xyz, and job is the automation engineer. Okay, and you need to create one class payload using the external Java external JSON file, or the you can you have need to create that so that you can call the JSON file where, and then you have need to call that payload using external file class in your test case. I will show you after this. So pros, what is the pros? Clean separation, easy to update, best for large payload. No dynamic by default. Cons say not dynamic by default. There is no option for the dynamic. Okay, whatever the hard coded data we will write it down, so it will post in the server. Okay, sixth one is the dynamic payload creation. This is the last one which we will discuss. Dynamic payload creation. Dynamic payload creation. We are creating data and change payload value. That's it. So what is the benefit? Flexible, reusable, good for data driven testing. That's why we prefer the most of the time in the data driven testing we use the dynamic payload creation. And how? I will show you the method how we are using that. Come to the framework structure. What kind of structure we are creating for this? Yes, yes. So now come to the project part. Okay. Project part, structure part, how we will create a practical for this. So first of all, as you know, keep whatever the testing related work we done in this folder, source test Java. Inside we will create the three packages: payload, POJO, test. One payload. This is the package POJO, and inside test like test cases, API related test cases. Here we create the class API test.java. POJO inside user data we will create, and inside the payload we will create all the payload which we will use, like string payload, JSON object, payload, dynamic payload, external payload, and HashMap payload, all the payload we will use in the payload. This is the structure. Okay, so already I have created this payload in my framework. Payloads, yes, this is the payload class, and this is the POJO class. This is the test which we are writing the test cases to run one by one all payloads. Okay, this is the user class. I will show you. So this is the this is the test case class where we are calling the we are performing the method. We are performing the request or the API request. So this is a separate class where we are calling the function of the payload class, and we are using the API request, or we are writing the code for the API request. Simple API test cases in this class. User is the we are creating the user for the POJO payload. So this is the variable, which one is a string name, and string job2 is the variable, and this is the getter setter method we are using. Set get the value and set the value. This is the getter setter method. Okay, and come to the first one is the string payload. Already I have told to you, string payload is nothing, just this the data in the format of the string we are providing to Java. Okay, this is the function you can see. This is the class, the string payload, and one function we have created, public static. Why public static? Static, we can access this method name of the class name. Okay, so create method and return what we are returning. And we're returning this string. If you will see, copy this string and check or convert this JSON, so you will see that this is the normal JSON, nothing else. Okay, then we will call, we write a one function of this string. String equal to string payload equal to string payload load dot. Yeah, now it's fine. So once we are storing this string value in this, then it will pass in the body. Then we can see. You can see now. This is the body. Why this body? Because we have mentioned the log dot body. Already we have discussed in the log lecture. Log dot, where you will mention log, it will return you of the detail of the body. Okay, but already we have mentioned log dot all, so it is returning the body and the function. So we are storing this value here and we are passing the body. That is a very simple way. You can see this is the body which we are passing here. This and found job. This is the job. And this is the passing the same thing. It is and you will see in the. So now come to the next. Go to the HashMap. HashMap, already we have created the HashMap object. So this is the HashMap file. This has been imported, and this is the object HashMap string object. I hope you are basically aware with the map or HashMap object. This is the that I am creating the object of the HashMap. That's it. And once object is created, then we are storing the value in the put in the data dot put star. That means we are storing the value in the put. Associate the specified value with the specified key in the map. Data is the object which we have created. Put. We are storing the value here. And API framework. What we will do? We will create the object of the HashMap. HashMap object payload equal to HashMap payload dot. Yes. And now whatever the data we have passed here, like Sahil, business founder, tax simplified, this data is the founder of the tax simplified. and then we are running the same. Yeah, 201 status created, and this is the time, and the length is the data 120 keep alive. This is the whole data, and this is the body which you are passing. Okay. Do you have any doubt? No. So come to the JSON object. This is the JSON object class, payload JSON object class. Or one more thing, in the POM XML file we have added the dependencies. This is org JSON JSON. This is the dependency we have need to add. And now you can see the once the POJO class user, this is the getter and setter method variable is the created, the name and job to the variable is there, and we are implementing the getter and setter method. That is very simple way. I will show you one try. Let's suppose if I delete this and click on the source, and there is the option with the getter and setter method, and select one, and over here the setter final, and we create the getter. Yeah, you can see the same. We have created the getter. The set return. That job, set job, and define the job. This is simple to perform the job. Predefined functions or the so the this is the POJO, right? We will discuss. And this is a simple function class we have created. And calling the user. This one is the user. User object create object of the class and storing the value. Set the set the job first. That what we will do. We first of all I need to use use equal to POJO dot. Okay, so what is the data we are passing? And we are going to run. All good. Yeah, data is passing, and we are successfully created 201 and the body which we are passing. Okay, so this is the POJO, right? Come to the JSON which we were discussing. Sorry, in the already we have seen the form XML file where we have added a dependency of the JSON object. And now come to the JSON payload. You can see the class and function which we have created, and this is the JSON object. See, I will show you. JSON object data equal to new JSON object. Once you will create it, automatically this one will file will be import. Library JSON object library will be import in this class. So you can store the value in the key and value format, and it will return data.toString. That is a simple way. There is another way. You can write the return data or this data simple, and toString you can add in this payload.string. Okay, string payload equal to JSON object payload dot create. And I'll show you once what the data we are passing here, QA engineer, so that you will not confuse. That's why I'm writing the passing different data. Common QA engineer, and it is the successfully created, and SDET and the body which we are passing successfully. Okay, come to the and one two what are the things this payload we have covered, string we have covered, HashMap we have covered. So come to the file JSON. See, this is the source folder, right? This is source. This is the source folder. Source test, source test, and source user JSON. Inside the user JSON, we have provided the name test or jobs as that. Okay, this is the same folder. In the source folder, you will observe in your framework. In the source folder, we will store the file or the Excel file, whatever you need to use in your we store that file in this folder. Like file, validated file, or validation required thing we store here. If we are validating from the seat in the source folder, come to the this is the folder which we have created, and this is the file payload we have created. The file simply we are create the one function and we are passing the source test source user process. And this is already we have created. I can use that directly. File, extract the directory, path name, and just like the string or whatever that we are taking. This is the uh, this class parent as abstract system hierarchical names and abstract happening is to optional system details. So you will work on the same and you will understand the better. And file payload, file payload, and get user. This is the function which we have. So it will return the file. Once it return and will pass this payload. Pass and save. Okay. Yes, SDET 101. This is the body. So this is associated with JSON. And this is the data which we are passing in the JSON. SDET. This is the where they store the data in this body. It is simple. I think not. Now you can see it is passing the value which we are giving in the data. Okay. Come to the very important part here. Come to the dynamic data. This is the dynamic class which we have created here. HashMap and create the name and ID. There is some other column, so you need to create that because we are creating at the when we are sending the request. Okay, HashMap string of the object data. This is the HashMap object we have created, and we are storing the value here. Simple. And in the API, when we will run that request, when we will send that request and create an object in the test class and HashMap string object payload and dynamic payload. This is nothing class name and this is the function name, and we are creating the value at the runtime, or we are sending the value at the runtime. Text simplified, and we are taking few seconds passing the second value. And how it will pass? This is name and this is ID. It will pass first name, then this is ID in the job. So see, yeah, name is the what we are passing, text simplified, and full and founder is the Komal. And what is the this? Text simplified founder. This one is the value we are passing at runtime. One more thing, which we don't be confused. See, this is the name we are passing in the name section. This is the job. This we are passing the job section. Whatever the value we will passing in the test class, it will same to same. It will pass here, and it will send the data along with the request. And it will create on the server, and it will create the data on server. That's it about the payload. So most of the time, guys, as per my experience, we use the POJO and external. This is the industrial framework. You can observe we are using the user JSON file for a perspective, or the external file for the data payload, as well as the POJO. Sometimes because we are storing the data or creating data in a separate class. So very simple way I have explained all the things. If you have any question, concern, comment in comment section, or if you have any feel you got a lot of things from this video, please like and comment. Thank you.